Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ English. America makes news again. Just like in the past few weeks, once again, President Trump has made a shocking statement, a statement that has sent shock waves across the world. Yes, the same American president who recently said that he may be looking at Greenland. He may have plans to conduct some military acquisition of Greenland, owned by Denmark under NATO. He also said that he will capture Cuba just like he has captured Venezuela and the president of Venezuela, Mr. Maduro. He also says that he is not interested now in spending money on bodies like UN peacekeeping forces on the global vaccine platform Gavi, and he says that bodies like International Solar Alliance, bodies like United Nations FCCC, Framework Convention on Climate Change are all useless. Now, these statements are creating a lot of uncertainty to other countries of the world. People are asking, what about the validity of various global institutions? And what did President Trump say to that? He says, I will continue to be a part of NATO as of now. I may continue to be a part of United Nations Security Council because China has veto power there as well. But apart from that, I am not participating in any other global body because America doesn't want to waste its money. America is busy in MAGA, Make America Great Again. So that's the topic for now. Very interesting at the same time, which is creating uncertainty across the world. Many questions coming, what's going on really? So President Trump, who recently has also conducted a major operation in Venezuela. According to the global community, it is an outright breakdown of United Nations Charter, that is United Nations Charter, Article 2.4. One country cannot use force or threat another country, but American president just did that. In the newspapers and media, people are saying he's not using Monroe, he's using the Dunroe Doctrine. So the same person, the same president is now saying that America is ready to withdraw from total 66 global bodies, and these include the UNFCCC as well as the International Solar Alliance. We have spoken about the International Solar Alliance in the past, so quickly let me know which was the latest country to join ISA as a full-time member. We have spoken about it with the map, so let me know in the comment box. Yes, the organization created by India and France back in 2015, headquartered in Gurugram in India, is a body that promotes cooperation in promoting solar energy. Various members from the Sunshine countries are a member here. Today, President Trump has withdrawn. He says, no, it's a redundant body. But more shocking, he has also withdrawn from UNFCCC, the key body that's responsible for global treaties like the Kyoto Protocol and the Paris Agreement. Why does he do that? He's saying because America will not spend any more money in any global body for that matter. America will only invest money in America's own welfare and growth. And he says all these bodies are useless, they are redundant, they don't solve any purpose. This is a major shocking thing done by him. Countries like India are reacting in shock, yes. Indian government has responded by saying that it is a very worrisome trend. It is scary because if America is not there to finance, to provide for some kind of assistance to all these global bodies, whether it's the World Health Organization, whether it's UNESCO, the future of multilateralism is under threat. Previously, President Trump did the same thing with regards to Gavi, the global vaccination platform, with regards to the World Health Organization, with regards to the United Nations peacekeeping forces. He said, we are withdrawing, we are not spending money at all. We will reduce our expenditure. At worst, we will withdraw from these. Does that mean America is receding in the background? America is retreating, making space for China to become the next global influencing power across all these institutions? That's the question people are busy asking. And do remember, all these comments are coming at a very sensitive time. Recently, we had the COP30 summit in Belém, Brazil. There, a clear-cut agenda came out. The agenda was about Muti Rao, collective action against climate change. The developing countries of the global south are demanding $1.3 trillion of carbon financing in order to achieve their climate targets, in order to move towards renewable energy. It is exactly at this sensitive point as countries like India are talking about CBDR, Common but differentiated responsibilities that a country like America, the largest economy, has chosen to walk out of all these global institutions. This is happening for the first time. And now, since the beginning of his second tenure, President Trump has said that US contributes a lot of money. It pays disproportionately, a huge amount of funding to all the global bodies. But at the same time, when it comes to influence and control, it is democratic. America doesn't seem to have a monopoly on all these bodies. He said this is a very globalist approach. He doesn't like it. He says, why should I contribute so much money to organizations which are not working in America's favor? These are not aligning with American interest as per President Trump. He repeatedly says that all these global bodies from WTO to United Nations keep on favoring countries like China. Now we all know, we have studied IR, we have studied the map work, we have done that, so we know the kind of ideological animosity between US and China. We understand that even today the world is not very different from the way it used to be during the Cold War period. Just that time the power was into two groups, USSR and the US. Today, if you look at the modern day world, it is probably a tripolar kind of a power sharing. You have America, yes, in the Western Hemisphere, which keeps on demonstrating its power, recently in the case of Venezuela. You have China here, which continues to dominate the East China, South China, Indo-Pacific oceans. The recent tragedy with Taiwan, Mission Justice 2025, all that. And then, of course, you have Russia. So you see, it is always the countries of Global South who are trying to balance this equation in a very tough manner. President Trump today is saying that why should America keep on funding and supporting institutions which ultimately empower China in return? And he says, earlier also I have exited. I have worked out of the World Health Organization because it doesn't seem to be solving any purpose. Remember, this also translates, it also corresponds with the controversy that happened during 2022 COVID pandemic. A lot of countries, including America, back then were blaming WTO for doing a kind of cover-up to China's or Chinese-induced pandemic. That was the blame that the world countries were putting on China. Since then, America says the credibility of WTO is anyway under doubt and I am not participating there anymore. But then today what he said is a major shock. This topic corresponds with GS paper 3 as well. Climate, ecology, conservation. Today, President Trump is saying United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change is a redundant body. But what is this body all about? Now remember, this was created back in 1992 as a part of the Earth Summit that was held in Rio de Janeiro. That's why we call it the Rio Summit. From 92 onwards in South America. Later it was enforced. It was enforced in 1994. Now, why is it such a unique thing? Why? Because this is one such group. It's the principal global body, treaty, which coordinates global response towards climate change. It endorses taking strong action against climate mitigation in order to adapt, be resilient to climate change, global warming, to enforce various countries in such a way that they can reduce their greenhouse gas emissions and reduce their carbon footprint. Now, under UNFCCC, we talk about two very important global treaties also. One is the 97 Kyoto Protocol, which made it mandatory on the part of developed countries to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. And then the more important one is 2015 Paris Agreement. Yes, the same Paris Agreement under which various countries maintain their nationally determined contributions. For example, India also updated its last NDC in 2022. Today we say we will reduce our carbon emissions by 45% of GDP by 2030. Similarly, Paris Agreement tells the countries that we must try. It is a legally binding treaty, by the way. It is legally binding. It tells the countries that we must reduce and control the increase in global temperatures between 1.5 degrees to 2 degrees as compared to the pre-industrial level. Yes, that's very important here. But today, President Trump walks out of the treaty. What repercussions will it have to the world? That's yet to be seen. Now, under these, we also conduct the COP summits, Conference of Party Summits. The latest that was conducted, we just spoke about it, it was Brazil, COP 30. where clearly countries have initiated many new ideas. One is the TFFF facility. I have spoken about this with you, Tropical Forest Forever facility. Another is the CBDM, Common but Differentiated Responsibility, CBDR. The third happens to be Carbon Finance Fund. But today all these will become pointless if a country that's a major country like America discards these summits. Now you talk about UN Women and UN Population Fund, organizations that take care of gender empowerment, which look into maternal and child health across various countries. US plays a very important role in funding these bodies, but today America has already cut down its funding. You look at the Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. Today we are living in a world in which we often talk about zoonotic disease. World Health Organization is already giving us warnings that very soon another pandemic known as Disease X might break out. All these are zoonoses in nature. These are multi-drug resistant germs, super bugs as we call them. In India, we have studied these in detail. When we were doing a case study of tuberculosis, I have explained to you MDR and XDR TB, right? Remember when we spoke about the antibiotics, rifampicin and all? So related to that, so now if the world is already under the threat of antimicrobial resistance, we need to create new medicines and vaccines. America is choosing to walk out of that. Now, if you remember very recently, another statement was made by President Trump when he said that America is now going to impose 100% tariff on patented drugs. That also was a cause of worry. Not so much for India, I had told you earlier, because India leads in the manufacturing of generic drugs, not patented as such. Out of our total drug exports, only 30% is patented, 70% is generic. But still, in future, it's a major risk. Remember? Now, America also today says that we are not going to finance for UN peacekeeping force. America has already reduced its expenditure here from $1 billion to about $680 million. As soon as Trump government came to power. Then G20 that was held for the first time in Africa, Johannesburg summit, where a new theme has come up. We have spoken about it, Ubuntu. I told you to focus on these words, Ubuntu, Mutirao, even for essay writing. America did not attend it. Yes, at the same time, NATO. The future of North Atlantic Treaty Organization is very unclear. Ever since President Trump told the Ukrainian leader, Mr. Zelensky, that please surrender all your territories to Russia. We have through the map discussed the area between Russia and Ukraine thoroughly. I have shown you all the captured territories from 2014 Crimea up to others like Kherson, Zaporizhia and Luhansk. So have a good idea of the map, okay? Today, America tells Ukraine to surrender. America says, I am not supporting any defense expenditure for Europe. He says, I am not so interested in NATO defense anymore. Now, does that mean NATO is under threat too? If you go by the statement of Denmark Prime Minister, she said 2 days before that if President Trump captures Greenland as well, then it could spell an end to NATO. So what kind of a world are we really living in right now? A world where the future of the global organizations are not clear? Or can we call this as selective multilateral engagement? That America will only participate in those global bodies and those treaties which it finds suitable, customized to its own interest. But otherwise, it will keep withdrawing from all others. So that's exactly what the world is facing right now. Yes, a big threat because as we are talking here, just a few days before, President Trump had also called that all the oil tankers coming from Russia are called as shadow fleet. They are all illegal. They have no classification license. Does that mean we are leading up to a bigger conflict in future? Well, that's yet to be seen. Especially because America keeps making controversial statements also about the Iran protest right now. So keep in tune with all these topics and we are yet to see how this shapes up. A quick practice question for you. With reference to recent decision of American president to withdraw from several global bodies, consider these statements here. 1. America would become the first country to formally exit UNFCCC, thereby losing its role in shaping future climate negotiation. Negotiations are talks and discussions. Second, the withdrawal of America from WTO was justified, saying that it is a pro-China body. Third, despite a broad retreat From multilateral institutions, America says, I will continue to be a member of bodies like International Telecommunication Union to influence global standards and to control China's domination. Which of these statements do you think are valid? You can let me know the answer, but more importantly, keep tracking these issues. Now, if you want a more detailed understanding of all these international relation issues with reference to map work, then these could be great opportunities for you. First thing is, you could join us in the Hindu class every morning 9:30 a.m. on StudyIQ English. That's where we exactly talk about these concepts with map every day. Second thing is, we are introducing a great sale program for those who are writing prelims in 2026. The countdown has begun. There is not much time to really think, but this could be an answer if you are struggling with completing the course, revising, or practicing with time management or having a proper timetable. If you're struggling to engage with static topics like history, geography, polity, and you cannot link this to current affairs, then this is an excellent opportunity at a very minimal price of 5499. You can enroll here. If you use my code SPLIVE, you get more discounts, by the way. And the batch is beginning on 14th January. Aggressive training for prelims coming with a guarantee of selection, GS1, CSAT both. Second, if you are interested in 2027 preparation, again at a very humble price, we announce the foundation batch, the GS resolution batch, foundation batch, all GS topics, prelims, mains covered. Answer writing, essay writing is extra. So use my code SPLIVE and get a special discount. Remember, batch is already started, so admissions will close on 15 January. Same exactly for 28. Humble price, admissions are closing soon. Do not forget code SPLIVE. Join me and together we can definitely make your UPSC dream come true. Thank you.